And some of the professional pruners like to do all their top cuts first, and then do the bottom. Well, I like to do the same thing as I pick them. Start the bottom, and then use it to finish out. Now, another thing that I always do, which is the old way of doing it, is I always cut ladder sets in when I have to. What's happened in the last 20 years is they've got a lot of illegal aliens doing the pruning, and they don't really care about them. They just exploit them. So they want maximum fruit production, and they don't care if the guys who are working for them can actually get in there with a ladder set. Well, the old way is to cut ladder sets. And back when I was in Tenasket, I was actually pruning the fruit that I picked. So I'd cut in ladder sets, which made my job in September, later on in the year, much easier. Another tool we got our lopper, and I got a couple of them here. This one's got a bumper on it. Real simple. This one doesn't have a bumper, but it works just as good. And one of the keys is to keep them sharp. So I got a couple whetstones. You always carry a whetstone with you. You can do one of these. You can have just that off there. See how it's dipped in? Mm-hmm. That's the way it goes. Or you can use one of these too. So basically, you just take a few wipes on it. This is a high carbon steel blade, so it sharpens easy, but it gets dull easy too. So you just put a few strokes on it, and try and keep the same angle all the time, of course. And then do one on the back. It's only sharpened on one side. It's like a grafting knife. You only got to sharpen on one side. So anyway, so you do that, and then you just start. Now here, you want to make sure that you clean these guys off. They're not good. Also, what you're looking for is, you see this stuff on the bottom? Now that's a spur, but it produces bad quality fruit. Oh. So basically what you're doing is you want to keep everything that goes up and out, and take out everything that goes in and down, and take that out. Now the idea is, by cutting off a few of these worthless spurs, I'm still stimulating the tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a lot of little cuts and give this tree some energy. That's what we're doing. It stimulates them. So we'll start in here and take out these guys, like I said.
The Walter stimulus package here?
Yes. Now this sucker here, that's called a water spout or a sucker.
Okay.
And you can see that there's not very many in this tree. In other words, that tree is in stasis. If that tree was really productive and putting a lot of fruit out or putting a lot of blossoms out, there'd be suckers all up and down. So what you can do is I like to hit them hard, prune them hard 1 year, and then for like 2 years after, hit them light. But you got to hit them every year. See, this tree doesn't have enough stimulus because it hasn't been pruned properly, or pruned enough even. Okay. Even just a few cuts, like doing just this little stuff here, you know, that gives it some stimulus. See? And like here, this is going, even if it does have fruit, it's going to be hanging down like that, and you don't necessarily want that. So we're just going to chop that right off. Okay?
Nice.
So, something like this, if you want to stub them up. See these little cuts? When you're picking fruit, that cuts your hand.
Okay.
You know, there's a rude term for it, which I won't tell you, but you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but that cuts your hand. You want to get all of those off if you can.
Okay.
And if you can't, you know, that's fine too. But the thing is, the best way is to not do them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to chop that. It didn't matter, because you got to go fast. Now, even though that's above the bud here, what that does, that's going to thicken the branch.
Okay.
See, so some of the time, what you're doing is you're cutting, you're letting things go off, but other times you're thickening up the branch. See? So now here, look at all that. That's got a lot of stuff there. Yeah. So let's just do a little detail pruning here. Another thing I can use is I got my two other tools. I got a little bypass pruner for light work, same kind of thing you use for your roses and stuff. Real simple. You know, you can buy cheap ones or buy expensive ones. Again, you want to put a couple licks on it. Make sure it's sharp.
So you just got that little stone there at the...
That cost $1.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you always...
Like Cenex or someplace like that?
Yeah, yeah, or any hardware store.
Okay.
It's just a carborundum. It's not a real fancy stone, but you know, you can feel it. Feel how sharp that is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see? It's just fine.
Nice.
The thing is, if you're dealing with quality steel, it's real easy to put an edge on. You know, that's a high carbon steel. This is a high carbon steel, and it's easy to put the edge on. And then you just do one little back there to take the burr off. That just takes the burr. You also have a pruning saw, and the good ones have a lock there.
Mm-hmm.
So you get up there, and you saw those branches off. We'll see if I have to actually use them, but you know, you don't have to buy a real fancy one. Keep your eyes open. See, I picked up this one. I think I paid, you know, $10 for, $10. I think I got this at a thrift store for you know, for $1 or $2. You know, just keep your eyes open. These are the kind of things you need. Another thing is since I'm pontificating here, this is something I took off Craigslist today. This is somebody who's tree pruning in Whatcom County. He's charging by the tree, not the job, which is what I used to work by the tree when I was a professional pruner too. So anyway, but he has a couple examples of what he's doing here, and this is before and after. And so these two I downloaded into a document and pumped them up a little bit. Now you see how, I don't know if you can see this through the camera, but they look fine. They're just brushy. Mm-hmm. And see what he's done here? Mm-hmm. I see this all over Whatcom County. I hate it. It's these posts that got these tiny little branches off, and they expect to get good fruit that way. It's nonsense. This is ornamental, but it's a bad job ornamental even. That's not for fruit production at all. There's no photosynthesis happening. You know, you're getting all this new growth every year. But what you need to do is you need to the spurs need you know, 3 years before you get fruit on them. So you need to create new wood. Let it grow another year, and in the 3rd year it'll have a spur. So when you're producing new wood like this every year, the only fruit you're going to get are on these old spurs. So you're not in the process of creating new spurs to replace the old spurs. So after a while, your fruit production degrades. This is garbage. We don't do that.
All right. That's good to know.
Yeah.